What is your name, sir?
My name is Lily.
Okay, but if she already told you in the drive-thru that her name is Lily, why are you still calling her sir? That's what I want to know.
You don't get to correct me. I will address you as what I see.
Oh, is that what we're doing, Karen? Because I don't think that that's the reason that a lot of us are supporting women and against trans madness. And while this person, it is unconfirmed what they are, some people online in reference to this viral video are saying that this person, Lily, is actually a woman, is actually born a female. So when you tell a person that you're not going to allow them to correct you and you will call them what you see, you know what? Let's just start this video. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. All right, so the first thing I'm going to address just really briefly is if you are following me on X and you've seen me arguing with the TERFs, what I want you to know is there is an actual point to it. It's not just me being petty. I think people need to understand that the reason that a lot of us are supporting women is because we have women in our lives and because we can understand a lot of the points that you're making. But what's happening right now with the TERFs.
What is a TERF?
TERFs, or trans exclusionary radical feminists, believe that in order to be a woman, you need to have been assigned female at birth, or a biological woman.
Is the same thing that was happening with the trans activists, where at a point they started off as the underdog and then they started trying to bully other people. And to clear it up for anybody that's not familiar with the way I personally use the word TERF, I do not refer to anybody that is against trans madness as a TERF. In order for me to refer to somebody as a TERF, they have to identify as a TERF. They're part of the TERF movement, which, if you're not familiar, trans exclusionary radical feminist. And if you would ask me, say, probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when TERF first became a thing, I would have told you I, like Dave Chappelle, was 100% team TERF, because I understand the exclusion of trans people who are genetic males from women's spaces and from even women's issues. Like, I once heard about that at an AA meeting where a female friend, had been going to a women's only AA meeting. And because in AA meetings, you're going to discuss a lot of things that were the root causes of your addiction, which in that case would be alcoholism. Sometimes you do talk about things that are very personal as far as even gender goes, where if you're a woman, I could see why you would want to be around only women. And if you're a man, I can see why you would only want to be discussing these things in front of men. Even though I think that for men it is different, because a lot of us don't really care about this type of stuff. You know, we're not guarded in certain ways, and with good reason, as women would be. So I fully do get that. When friends of mine were saying that they weren't going to go to that women's meeting anymore, and they'd complained to the people that organized that particular meeting that they didn't want a trans woman in an all-women's AA meeting. I 100% get that. I 100% get a lot of the things that TERFs are fighting for. And women, sensible women, like a lot of the people that follow me, I 100% get what you're talking about. And there may be small things where we disagree, or things that I think that people have less exposure to, so maybe they don't understand. And I'm not going to try to mansplain any of that to anybody, but I will at points explain certain things from my point of view, because I have had third-party perspective on a lot of things. And sometimes when I look at things, I'm like, yeah, I can see where the trans people, the sensible ones, are right here. And then I can see where the women are right over here. And I could see also sometimes where there could be room for compromise from both sides, or in certain cases, just from one side. And that's something that I'm able to see because I have third-party perspective. And my purpose in all of this, because a lot of people ask me why I talk about these things the way that I do, and trust me, we're going to get back to this video, but give me a second. But when people ask me about these kinds of things, my investment in this is that I really would like to see both sides be able to be happy, or both sides be able to exist in society and not feel like they're being bullied. And so when I saw trans people have been bullying women, I definitely took up for the women and was making a bunch of videos to address that. And now, though, when I'm seeing women not just looking for rights, but really trying to police, like, you can't dress like this, you can't look like this, what are we really fighting for? Are we fighting fighting for your rights and your safety? Or are we fighting so that people can look the way you think that they should look? Because that's never going to happen. There will always be people that don't dress the way you think that they should dress, don't talk the way you think that they should talk, don't present themselves the way that you think they should present themselves. Like, I've known girly girls in my life, a lot of makeup, the hair, dress sexy all the time, don't understand why a chick would want to be frumpy, why a woman would not want to dress to the nines at all times. I've known girls like that. I've also known women that were very, very laid back, and a few like hardcore lesbians that I've known that basically look like men. Well, not basically, look like men. 100%. You would just be like, that's a man. But they were women. They never identified as anything else. They never claimed to be anything else. They never said they felt like anything else. They were women that just were very in masculine professions. One of them poured concrete for a living. But what I'm trying to get at is they couldn't understand why women would want to wear heels and makeup and be done up like that all the time and take the time to get ready. They couldn't understand that. Well, neither of them are right when it comes down to it. A woman shouldn't have to dress to the nines, and a woman shouldn't have to dress like a man either. Both can coexist. Neither should question the other about how they're expressing themselves. People don't have to live up to your expectation of what you think that a woman, or a man for that matter, is supposed to be. So let's get into this video and watch this Karen make a fool of herself at a Burger King because this person doesn't present in the way that they think they're supposed to present.
What is your name? What is your name, sir?
My name is Lily.
Okay, and you're stating that you called me sir, correct?
You called me young man, and I politely corrected you multiple times.
Okay, so if you're not following along, this woman's name is Kathy, the one behind the camera. We don't know what she looks like, but her name's Kathy, and she is upset because this person, Lily, called her sir after Lily had corrected her several times and said that she wasn't a sir. And like I said, I haven't confirmed this yet, but according to sources online, this person, Lily, is a female. So when she's saying she corrected her and this person still is calling her sir and addressing her as a man, this isn't a trans issue in this case. This is somebody deciding that since you don't look like what I think you're supposed to look like, I'm gonna be disrespectful with you.
You don't get to correct me.
Now, is that some entitled stuff or what? You don't get to correct me? A person tells you what they actually are? And I'm gonna tell you, for $7.25 an hour, because that's what they're making in Kansas, which is where this was shot, $7.25 an hour, I would leave fast food workers alone. We're lucky that they're still doing their jobs at all for $7.25 an hour. How about we just not bust the fast food workers' balls, no pun intended, no matter what's going on, unless they do something terrible with your food, unless they refuse to help you, unless there's a legitimate reason. How about we understand that these people already probably don't have an ideal life, and maybe we should just respect whatever they say. Because I would tell you, if I accidentally called somebody sir and they said they were a ma'am, and I'm dealing with them in this kind of situation, because this situation isn't political, I'm at a fast food restaurant. If they were to tell me that they're a sir or a ma'am, the opposite of what I thought they were, I would give a little bit of a and then I'd just be like, I'm sorry. And I would correct myself to what they said they were, because I'm not going to do any kind of gender confirmation on this person. I just need to get my Whopper and get out.
I will address you as what I see. I have no obligation whatever to enter.
And Lily just said, and I have no obligation to you. And that's true. If you're going to be rude to somebody, you better expect it back.
Yes, you do, sir. Unless, of course, Burger King, unless Burger King has a policy to behave this way to their clients. Maybe they do.
I would imagine that Burger King's policy is not to be disrespectful with their guests, just as guests aren't supposed to be disrespectful with the employees. And you notice that this person has already said several times, I am not a sir, and Kathy still keeps referring to them as sir. I even feel a little disrespectful because I keep saying this person and they, when this person is saying that they're a woman. I have no reason to dispute that, and I'll do a correction if in the future we find find out that this does turn out to be a trans person, but I don't know why it has to be that deep in this Burger King situation. Am I the only one that feels that way? Comment down below. By the way, like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. Let's do it.
We will find that out.
The owners, but we have no video
Good.
recording, so I'll be more than happy to help you, but you can't record us.
Oh, I'm a First Amendment lawyer, and I can definitely record you. Absolutely.
Entitled. I don't have a problem with her recording. That's fair. That's what it is. But at the same time, you can tell by the way she said that, she thinks that her being a lawyer makes her better than everybody else. So everybody else better bow down, because we have a lawyer in the house right now.
I want to file a formal complaint.
Ooh, a formal complaint at the Burger King.
I have been a patron of, I've been a patron of Burger King for many, many years.
I know you don't think that's a flex.
And I came here, I always received nothing but excellent service. But I came here today, I had a coupon and I ordered what I ordered.
The lawyer is using a coupon? Moneybags, Big Bucks is using a coupon right now in the drive-thru? I'm not making fun because I've used coupons at Burger King before too. But I just think if you're gonna act hoity-toity and high and mighty, couponing isn't a respectable play in this game. Kathy.
And one of the things was accidentally left out, not a problem. I came back around to get it. And I thanked the young man who waited on me, and I said to him, "Thank you, young man." When I did so, when I came back the second time, he became very angry and he said, "I'm not a young man." Okay? I said, "Sir, I call you what I see." He said,
See, to me, this is very rude. Don't use any pronouns if you don't want to. Don't use anything that's gendered language if you don't believe that you're talking to the gender that they claim to be. Don't do it. That's the respectable way to handle this. Use a they and a them, or just don't use anything but their name, whatever it is. But this is another person named Lily if they turn out to be trans, and this will make 3 Lilies that we have that have recently been, never mind, let's not get, but Lily just seems to be a popular name with the trans community. But what I'm trying to get at is, do not use any gendered language at all if you're not comfortable with it. I 100% get that. But I was talking to a friend of mine the other day that has been working in gyms in LA forever now. She's a personal trainer. She's my best friend's wife, one of my best friend's wives. And since that situation happened with Tish, I had asked her, which if Tish, if you're not familiar, is the one at Gold's Gym that the guy was in the locker room, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. I did the video on it. I'll put a link here or here, and maybe I'll forget to put the link. But anyway, so I asked her about that because I had never asked her before, and we've been friends for years and years, if she had had a situation like that where she had been in the locker room and there had been a male, a trans person in the locker room. What my friend said was no, but the closest thing that she's had happen is there is a woman, a genetic female, that used to go to her spin class, and they were an actual female, but she had some sort of condition. I don't remember what she said the condition was. She did tell me, but she had a condition that made it so her body produced too much testosterone. So her features were completely masculine. Like, she said that if you were to look at her from the neck up, you would just assume it's a man. But from the neck down, completely female. And this was something that my friend said was not like in question. It was just, this was a girl, a female. There was a point where one of the other patrons complained about it, and that made it so that other people started complaining about it. And my friend had to actually take the one that was making the biggest stink about it outside and just let her know, look, she's an actual female. She's a girl. She's a woman. It's what it is. And so even though she's an actual female, because she spoke with her about it too, my friend, the trainer, spoke with the girl that was supposedly a man about it too. And the girl said that this happens to her everywhere she goes. And it's not uncommon for people to either give her a side eye or tell people that there is a man in the woman's bathroom or in the woman's locker room. So what this person started doing, a full-on female, female, tell me this isn't humiliating. A full-on female now started going to the men's locker room. And what she would do was put a towel around herself so that she could change when she had to change in and out of her gym clothes in the men's locker room. Do you realize how humiliating that must be for that woman that just happens to have the misfortune of looking like a man because of something that's going on with her body that I'm sure she would probably correct if she could correct it? And so that's why I'm starting to get tired of these kinds of people. There was another situation in Buffalo Wild Wings. I'll do a video on it coming up, even though it happened a couple of months ago, where a woman was forced to basically prove that she was female to a server at Buffalo Wild Wings. Even though if you ask me, this person does not look anything but female. But because an employee thought that it was a man, decided to go shake her down and demand that she prove, the girl ended up feeling like she had to show her breast, and she didn't fully expose herself, but she took her hoodie off so that she could see that she had breasts. She was a woman, which breasts aren't even a guarantee that it's a woman. We just did the video the other day with the guy that was like, "Can you see my rack?" So what are we going to start doing? Are we going to start bullying people because they don't look feminine enough? Because we're deciding now that they don't belong in certain spaces with no proof at all? And that's what's going to make this unenforceable. So where these people think that they're putting their foot down, what's going to happen is if you're wrong a certain amount of times, eventually people are going to be like, yeah, I'm not making a big deal of that. I'm not going to argue this because this person may in fact be what they're saying they are. And if you think that that isn't going to end up costing Buffalo Wild Wings some money, you're wrong. And you watch enough of these businesses face legal consequences for kicking genetic females out of female spaces, and then you see how unwilling they're going to be moving forward to enforce it. And then when it actually is a male, there's no way anybody's going to tell them anything because they'll have no way of actually knowing. So sit and think about that for a second. Anytime you think that I'm not being a good ally, which I've already told you I'm not an ally, I'm a friend. Allies in this day and age will support you endlessly and blindly. I am not that. I am a friend that will tell you that this movement is getting carried away because there are people like this Karen that think they're really putting their foot down by disrespecting other people, and the people you're disrespecting may be the people that you claim to be protecting. So ask yourself if this is really about protecting women or is it about policing other people?
Well, in that case, thank you, sir, and shut the window.
Cope and seethe.
Now, I am clearly a woman, and I have no obligation, as you know, ma'am.
Now, I am clearly a woman. So you are clearly a woman, but that person is arguably a woman, arguably a man, definitely a man, depending on what you say. I would love to see Kathy. She better be the most girly girl ever. I am clearly a woman.
To call him whatever he thinks he's supposed to be called. And I cannot imagine that Burger King has a policy that when their customers have this sort of an interaction and they're supposed to be responded to angrily and on purpose called sir and yelled at because he did.
Okay, so you disrespecting them is 100% okay. Them disrespecting you suddenly crosses a line.
Well, I did that to you because you called me the wrong sex. Is that Burger King's policy to treat their...
I will have a conversation with Miss Lily, who was the young lady that was in the drive-thru.
She is not a young lady. You're free to think. You're free to think she is, and I'm free not to.
Kathy assumes too much. What if this woman actually knows that Lily is a female? This is happening in Kansas. Why is this woman arguing at the drive-thru about something so petty? Well, after coming in from the drive-thru, why is this the hill that you want to die on? And do you really think that this is making women look good right now? You posted this. This is recorded from your phone. I hope that we find out that Lily is a woman, a genetic female, and this woman has to publicly apologize after having her life ruined. Why are you harassing a fast food worker this way?
And I will address her because we do not condone being rude to our guests. So you're right. So that was inappropriate. Her retaliation because she was upset was inappropriate, and I will address that, okay?
Thank you. I'm glad to know that your policy is not to insult your
Yeah,
clients.
our policy is not to insult, but we just hope our guests don't insult our team members either.
Now, this woman, I like the way this woman is handling this situation. I like that she's staying calm, but also being firm in, you're right, she shouldn't have insulted you, but you shouldn't be insulting our team members either. I think that that's perfectly fair and reasonable.
I beg your pardon,
Thank
madam.
you.
Do you find that I insulted this individual?
No, I do not, but I'm going to ask you to leave because this is private property.
Yeah.
I do have the right to ask you to leave.
That's
the
cool.
premises.
One more thing, ma'am. Who is your director? To whom do you report?
I'm the owner. I'm Kimberly Byer with Kansas King Inc.
Kimberly Byer.
Well, that was the owner reverse that Kathy wasn't expecting, was it? That's the actual owner. So my supervisor would basically be calling Burger King corporate and letting them know that I, as a franchisee, have done something that you don't agree with. And you know what Burger King's going to tell you at that point? It's out of our hands. If their policy is that their employees must be treated with respect and they're willing to respect a person's gender identity, which is another thing a lot of people aren't understanding. Not every business has to go by what your standard is. And you have the choice to not go to that business if you don't like the way that they insist on their employees being treated. Because I can tell you, as a person that goes to gay bars occasionally, not that often anymore, but I do go occasionally, if you were to go into a gay establishment or even what's truly considered a gay or LGBT friendly establishment, and you went in misgendering some, I don't care if the person is a full-on man, looks like a man, and just says his name's Lily. And if you're in that business and you call Lily anything but Lily, if you don't either use gender-neutral pronouns or you don't refer to them as she and her, you misgender at that point. Because when it's their place and it is their rules, and they kick your ass out, nobody's going to listen to you complain. Nobody cares. You can boycott it, but I'm going to tell you that if you try to boycott a gay business or an LGBT business about them standing up for an LGBT employee, nobody's going to join you in that boycott. Or the people that will join you in that boycott are people that never go there anyway. So it doesn't matter. It might as well not even be a boycott because you are not the target demographic. And this, for anybody that may think that I'm double talking right now, it really is the exact same for me as when I was talking about gay marriage. And I was saying that if somebody doesn't want to marry you, go somewhere else. If somebody doesn't want to make your cake, go somewhere else. If somebody doesn't want to cater your gay wedding, go somewhere else. And so the complete opposite would be true for me as well. I would say that if you don't like the way certain businesses insist that you address their employees or certain policies that certain businesses have in place, then you can go somewhere as well. Because I can guarantee you, wherever this woman is, there's a Burger King not but a couple miles away. So if that Burger King, you don't like that their employee that you're insisting is a male is being referred to as a female, then go somewhere else. Don't make everybody else miserable because they're not going to live or present the way that you think they should live and present. And I'll keep you guys posted, like I said, when I get an update on whether or not this person is actual female. Not that to me it should really matter. If the person told you what they are, and then yeah, maybe you could say that Lily shouldn't have referred to this person as sir. But maybe after you keep getting called a certain thing over and over and over, and even after you correct the person, they still continue to address that way, and then they're still addressing you that way when they're dealing with the manager, maybe you do finally get like, yeah, I'm just going to say whatever I want to this bitch because clearly she doesn't respect me, so I'm not going to respect her. And maybe it's time for me to lose this $7.25 an hour job if customers are going to disrespect me. And then we can figure out who we're going to get to serve our food to us that's going to live up to the standards that we think that they should live up to. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Click the video on your screen. Other than that, as always, thank you for watching. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.